Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining the online seminar. In the following presentation, I will introduce you the lighting control solution and the new Firmware DALI controller, DLC-02. The presentation will cover a brief introduction of the DALI, a new product, DLC-02, features and how to use the software to make it the settings. Perhaps you already knew the firmware version 2.1 is announced. We certainly won't miss out this introduction, this new upgrade. The last section, we will spend more time on the DLC-02 demo kit, learn how to use the DLC software to start the project from the beginning, and finish the parameter setting step by step. To image what we need to configure a lighting application. First of all, a light, of course, and a driver to supply power a lamp. We call them as an output. Next, to decide which input you want to use to control those output. It could be a push button, rotary dimmer, or motion sensor. All of them are the input devices. The last part, which control function you want to have. For example, I want to use a rotary dimmer to dim up or dim down, or use the push button to change the light color. With above key factors, a basic idea of the lighting system is done. Okay, here we have some questions. If we got devices from the different manufacturer, will they work together without problem? How to assign a sensor to control a lamp? How to change the parameter of the devices? To solve those questions and the demands from the market, DALI is developed from the modern lighting application, make the light easier to configure, easier to maintain, and close to user needs. Let's start from what is DALI. DALI is one of mainstream protocol of the lighting solutions. Maybe some of you are familiar with DALI already. Here, I give you a quick overview. DALI is a digital addressable lighting interface. It is a protocol for a bidirectional communication between lighting control products. With DALI, each device can be assigned an address, allowing digital control for individual devices. Different lighting functions and modes can be achieved in different rooms of an area of a building, and then easy to be adjusted or optimized by the software without the need to change the wiring. DALI bus is a 2-wire bus line. It is used for the communication as well as for the power the sum of devices. Each DALI bus can connect up to 64 participants, and they may be divided into 16 groups. Devices can be set up to 16 scenes. The maximum control distance is 300 meters. However, it depends on the wire gauge. More information, you can check the DALI website. DALI is an industrial standardized protocol, and is specialized in the multiple international standard IEC 62386, as well as by specification written by DIA. Basically, the standard defines 5 parts of different purpose. Today, we only focus on the part 102 and control gear, and the part 103, the control devices. For example, a traditional LED driver should follow the part 207. If this is a color control driver, it belongs to the part 209. On the right-hand side, part 103 control devices are new to the DALI-2 standard. Under part 103, there are more particular requirements for the input devices. For example, part 301 is a push button. Part 303 is occupancy sensors. Please note, control devices were not specified in the DALI-1. The DALI-2 standard gives the requirements for the application controller and the input devices, allowing devices from the different manufacturer to be used together on the same DALI bus. I know too many numbers might confuse you. Anyhow, you don't have to memorize all those standard numbers. Just know if someone talks about part 201, 202, and it's related to the DALI control gear. If part 301, 302, etc., is related to DALI input devices. People might wondering what is the difference between the DALI-1 and the DALI-2. Basically, there are four major changes. First of all, DALI-2 transmission is more stricter than the DALI-1. From time to time, we hear the DALI-1 devices has a compatibility issue with each other. DALI-2 did the improvement on that, so we don't expect it happen again in the DALI-2 devices. Some features has already been added. For example, extend fade time is allowed fade 0.1 second to the 16 minutes. Control devices are new to the DALI-2 standard. All communication must go to the application controller to process the next action. The last part, all DALI-2 product must be certified by the DIA. Then the product is allowed to use the DALI-2 logo. It can ensure the products follow the DALI standard and can avoid incompatibility issue. Basically, DALI divided the devices into four categories. From this map, you can see if a DALI bus power supply, we have DLP-04. Regarding the LED control gear, we have many DALI-2 certified products, for example, with the LCM and the PWM, etc. Application controller, now we have newly released the DLC-02. According to the DALI-2 regulation, controller is a brand of the DALI-2 system. It uses the information to take decisions and send a command to the control gear. Regarding the input devices, due to the different country has different tests, so we don't have the plan to develop input device so far. Part 104 is wireless control. However, this part of the DALI standard is not finalized yet, so we will keep monitoring how we will be. The DLC-02 is a DALI controller which complies DALI-2 part 101 and 103. I believe some of you have played this for a while and more or less have an idea of that. We are glad to announce you that DLC firmware upgrade is ready to support DALI DT8 devices. The new firmware is available since this month. Maybe you have a question, what is DT8? We will talk it more in the next slide. Basically, the new update included all the features of the previous versions, which are the relay function, effect function, timer function, and support DALI input devices from the part 301 to 304. Furthermore, a new feature sequence is added in this upgrade as well. We will talk sequencing later on. DT6 is a traditional LED lighting control gear. Use a single address to control one single channel. If the DT6 device is to control a tunable white lamp, which needs two-channel control, then we need two DT6 devices, one for the cool white channel and another one for the warm white channel. In this case, two addresses are occupied. Let's say if a lamp is RGB 3-color lamp, each color is controlled by the DT6 device, and you can imagine that will be a disaster, no matter from the cost of view or from the installation cost view. DTA can help to reduce the numbers of devices to be used in the application. The amount of the wiring need to be in the installation, and the number of the DALI address can be reduced, which simplifies the design and the commissioning. This brings a huge advantage in terms of the cost and the installation. In which scenario may use a DTA lighting? Let's take a retail store as an example. Tunable white lighting plays an outsized role in the retail settings, make store and the display area more inviting and showcasing product in their best light. For example, this a red apple can look tasteful under a low Kelvin light. High Kelvin light can make a seafood appear of the bush flesh. Chicken and beef hold the greatest visual appeal under a light in the middle of the color temperature range. Tunable white light comes in handy for the retailers who often to reset the display or the section of their store. Once we have an idea to configure DALI device in a project, next question is how to set all those parameters in the DLC. Basically, there are two ways to do those settings. First one is a local setting, which make the setting manually from the DLC front panel. Let's have a look at this picture. Here you can find there are three buttons on the front panel. From the left to the right is move, set, and escape. Through the three buttons, you may query devices, making a quick test, set the date and time, or adjust the maximum, minimum level, etc. Setting information will be displayed on the OLED display. More detail is provided in the next slide. This is the menu structure. I don't go into the detail, just let you know from here, you can find basic functions or the control from here. Let's move on to the next page. The second way for the parameterization is DLC software. Basically, all functions can be accessed on the DLC software. This software is developed by Firmware. All you have to do is install all the DALI devices properly, connect the DLC on your PC by a USB cable. Then you may start to make the settings on the DLC software. The software provides you not only the basic functions, for example, the addressing, just a maximum level, minimum level, quick test, etc., but also provides you some other special functions. For example, effect, timer, and sequence. We will go through those functions one by one in following slides. From below link, you may download the DLC software and the DLC firmware upgrade package. Please note this package is not for the KNX model. If you would like to upgrade DLC-02 KN model, please check our KNX download page for the KNX upgrade. Okay, let's talk about the main feature of this upgrade, DT8. DT8 is a color control device. which can be the tunable white or RGB color control. Tunable white lighting is a popular trend in both commercial and residential lighting. It provides the ability to change lighting based on the situation or the time of the day. For example, bluish light may let the factory operator work more efficient. In a school, students will be more awake and focus on under the blue light. A warm light can create a more intimate mood, perfect for the evening dining at a restaurant. Another example is in the hospital. Transitioning to the warm light in the evening could potentially help patients get sleep at the bedtime. Colorful light is also popular to be used in the entertainment or commercial purpose. For example, the bar, restaurant, or the advertising signs. With the DTA upgrade, all above the requirement can be satisfied on the DLC-02. Scene function is also supports DTA devices. In the scene panel, you are able to set the brightness and label and the color temperature label if the device is DTA. You can preset the several different scenes. For example, if you work from home, set the scene 1 with a cool white may let you to be more focused on the work. Set scene 2 with the colorful light for the relaxed hours. Just one touch, you can easily to change your mood for each scenario. Timer is useful to schedule an action in a specific day or the weekly event. For example, preset the office lighting every Monday to Friday, 8 o'clock in the morning to turn on the light. In the evening, 6 o'clock, the light will be turned off. Furthermore, you may preset all lights to be turned off on the national holidays or in each weekend. The time can be calibrated with real time. So once the timer is set, DLC will follow the schedule to do the action. By the way, DLC has additional full relays available, so they can schedule with the timer as well. Effect is for pairing an input and an output. For example, we would like to push button to control a LED driver. The input is a push button. The output is a LED driver. Here you can pair them together. Then driver will listen to the command from the push button. The input device can be a push button, sensor, switch, and so on. In addition, input can be a timer, which we just talked about in the previous slide. Use the timer as an input to ask an output to do the action. The output can be a control gear, group, or broadcast. Since DLC come with a full relay, they can be assigned as an output. Sequence is a new feature of the DLC upgrade. It can be assigned to be an output as well. What is the sequence? Sequence is a series of brightness value or color gradient. This function is suitable to be used in a shop or a bar or any entertainment environment. Total 8 sequences can be set, and each sequence can have up to 16 steps. In each step, you may assign a lamp or group to perform a specific brightness and color label with a certain delay time. When the delay time of this step is up, it will enter the next step automatically. Just preset the step one by one. The sequence can be triggered by an input command, which with a limit cycle or unlimited cycle. Moreover, an end step can be added and it can be performed in the last cycle. For example, if total 5 cycles in a sequence, the end step will be performed on the end of the 5th cycle.